Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one is brought to us by Ranker.com. It's titled, David Spade's Life Has Been Even Stranger Than You Think. David Spade and Chris Farley were a powerhouse comedy duo. Their movies were legendary. Spade strove to continue that legacy even after Farley's death, starring in sitcoms, movies, and major comedy shows across the world. Spade has also been involved in some of the craziest Hollywood stories, including as the victim of a stun gun attack from former assistant David "Skippy" Malloy. From being a year-long feud with other comics to unexpected romances, he's done it all. He even got a tattoo from an Oscar winner. Spade's journey has been anything but typical. Spade even had a pretty good reason for skipping his friend's funeral. You won't believe all the things you don't know about the powerhouse blonde actor. First thing was that he was attacked with a stun gun. In 2000, David Spade's personal assistant attacked him with a stun gun. The bizarre chain of events began when David "Skippy" Malloy, Spade's assistant and friend, allegedly broke into his boss's home. A struggle ensued and Malloy used a stun gun on Spade. As silly as this altercation sounds, it was no laughing matter. Spade told the press, quote, "I believe he is a good person who is obviously mentally troubled right now. I can only hope that he seeks the help he needs to get well." Malloy eventually took a plea deal and was sentenced to community service and psychological counseling. Fact 2. He couldn't handle Chris Farley's untimely demise. David Spade didn't attend Chris Farley's funeral because the loss was just too emotional for him. While the two had disputes and disagreements, just as all co-workers do, they were fast friends right up until the end. Spade discussed the matter, quote, "I think about him all the time. We had such a good time for so long, and we were crammed together for so long that we did have our squabbles. But I think people misunderstood me not going to the funeral. It was nothing about that. It was just too emotional, and I wouldn't be able to handle it." Next fact, he hooked up with Naya Riviera. File this as one of the most unexpected couples of the 21st century. David Spade and Glee star Naya Riviera dated for at least a few months in 2017. They met on the set of Spade's comedy Mad Families, and they were subsequently spotted canoodling at various LA hotspots and on a trip to Hawaii. By August, the two were apparently on the outs. Spade was seen with a mystery woman, seemingly confirming that he and Riviera had gone their separate ways, and so ended one of the strangest celebrity romances. Next fact, he had a 20-year feud with Eddie Murphy. David Spade's epic feud with Eddie Murphy began when Spade first started doing his Hollywood Win Minutes sketch on SNL. In one of the sketches, Spade put up a picture of Murphy and said, "Look kids, a falling star. Quick, make a wish." Murphy was livid. He thought the joke was mean-spirited, especially considering that he helped put SNL on the map. 20 years later, Spade and Murphy finally made up. Spade wrote, quote, "After all those years, that stupid joke can just be that, a stupid joke. And I can go back to appreciating what a funny MFer he is." Next fact, he got his first tattoo from Sean Penn. In the 1995 SNL skit Spade in America, David Spade interviewed actor Sean Penn, but Penn only agreed to the interview if he could tattoo the younger actor. Spade gamely requested a tat of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, only once whispering, "You're hurting me." The tattoo was real and so was the humor. Referring to the permanent ink, Spade noted, quote, "In 5 years, it will be like having a fun, outdated Merryworth on there, I know." Next fact, he got into a fight with Chris Farley while filming Tommy Boy. When it comes to the David Spade and Chris Farley magic, Tommy Boy is tough to beat. But things behind the scenes weren't as sunny as one might expect. The two actors apparently fought over who got to spend time with co-star Rob Lowe. Farley even got upset when Spade and Lowe went out for a drink without him. Spade recalled, quote, "He comes over and he crunches my hand with his boot. And then I got up and I threw my Diet Coke on him. It was straight out of Atlanta Housewives. Then he threw me down the stairs and then they said, action." Next fact, he almost played Uncle Joey on Full House. It's silly to think that David Spade could have bested Dave Coulier to nab the role of Uncle Joey on Full House, but that's exactly what almost happened. In his 2016 memoir, Almost Interesting, Spade revealed the juicy tidbit. It's hard to imagine anyone but Coulier in that role, but Spade came close to making it his own. It's probably safe to assume that Spade's Uncle Joey would have been a much different character. Next fact, he got high at Ellen DeGeneres' 60th birthday party. Ellen DeGeneres' 60th birthday party was filled with Hollywood hotshots. David Spade and DeGeneres were longtime friends. He's a regular on her talk show. So of course, he didn't miss the star-packed bash. However, the actor confessed to DeGeneres, quote, "I was really drunk because it was nighttime. So I already came in a little hot. Then I accepted a joint that made me ignore you at your own party. In fairness, I thought you were Justin Bieber for the first half hour, but it's only because of your haircut, not what you were wearing." Next fact, he was robbed, but he handled the situation well. In a 2017 appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, David Spade revealed that he had been the victim of a home burglary. But in typical Spade fashion, he saw the humor in the unfortunate event. After realizing his safe was missing, Spade called the police. He shared, quote, "The cop goes, 'Do you have any friends that are down on their luck or low on cash?' And I go, 'Oh, do you want me to forward you my contact list? It's literally my whole clown entourage." Next fact, he got into an Instagram fight with the Cash Me Outside girl. Hollywood is used to strange feuds, but David Spade's fight with Danielle Bregoli was pretty odd even by Tinseltown standards. Spade posted an Instagram photo while posing with Bregoli, the out-of-control teen who got famous after her "Cash Me Outside" catchphrase played on Dr. Phil. Spade captioned the photo, quote, "Bregoli is slightly underwhelmed to meet me. Unfortunately, she stopped being famous 5 minutes before this was taken." Bregoli was none too pleased, so she commented back, quote, "No lie, I thought this guy was the waiter." Next fact, he was the subject of a strange Kurt Cobain meme. "It's better to burn out than fade away, Kurt Cobain, R.I.P." It takes a pretty big leap of imagination to confuse David Spade and Kurt Cobain. Other than being blonde, the two men don't have much in common. But Spade and Cobain were the subjects of an unusual meme that circulated across the internet in 2017. An Austrian graffiti artist painted a mural of Spade along with a Neil Young quote famously attributed to Cobain. Even Spade was confused by the image. He noted, quote, "Who knows what that means? Oh well, I blame it on that crazy internet." Next fact, he asked for permission to bash rock group Def Leppard in Joe Dirt. In typical David Spade fashion, there are plenty of crazy stories that happened during a filming of his movie Joe Dirt. One of the craziest stories involves the Def Leppard bash from Kid Rock's character. Spade wanted to get the famous 80s band's permission before including the line, quote, "Def Leppard sucks," in the film. Spade recounted, quote, "I talked to Def Leppard's manager to make sure that it was okay, so I called someone because we originally couldn't put it in, and he said, 'Hey, is there any way we could do this?' And I had to explain that Kid Rock is the bad guy. He doesn't like Def Leppard, but the good guy does. And they were very cool because they got that and let us use it." Next fact, as a child, Spade frequently played with real guns. Growing up in rural Arizona, Spade's childhood was filled with questionable, dangerous fun such as firing guns at animals in the desert without adult supervision. Spade's father abandoned his family when the actor was very young, which forced his mother to work full-time to provide for their 3 children. Allegedly, Spade's dad rarely paid child support. Spade's mother's job kept her out of the house for the majority of the week, so the children had plenty of time to get into trouble. One of their favorite activities was shooting guns out in the desert, as all 3 of the children had access to their own personal firearm. When describing his memoir, Almost Interesting, Spade recalled his wild upbringing, saying, quote, "I had a rifle, Andy had a pistol, Brian had a shotgun. I was probably 10, so it was safer. We had a lunch, a canteen, and back-teen in case everything went wrong. And then she, their mother, would pick us up 7 miles away at the Chevron station when she got off work. We'd just walk, shoot cactus, shoot birds, shoot roadrunners, kill rattlesnakes." Next fact, Jack Nicholson once stole Spade's girlfriend. According to a 2015 interview with Details, Nicholson and Spade were briefly romantic adversaries, though it doesn't sound like Spade fought too hard to maintain the affection of his lover. According to Spade, the actor was smoking a joint at a party with his then-girlfriend Laura Flynn Boyle when Nicholson popped his head in and asked the actress out. While Boyle was reportedly offended that Spade did not object to Nicholson's advances, Spade later said, quote, "I've been in this town long enough to know when I'm outranked." The interaction seemed harmless at the time. Boyle allegedly claimed to be disgusted by Nicholson, but the memory resurfaced for Spade when he got a call from the National Enquirer regarding a car accident involved Nicholson and Boyle. According to the tabloid, Boyle, quote, "crawled out of the sunroof and yelled, 'I have a boyfriend, I can't be here.' This incident signaled the end of Spade and Boyle's romance." Next fact, Spade intentionally fathered a love child with a Playboy playmate. In 2008, Spade became a father. Harper Spade was born 9 months after the actor engaged in a brief fling with Playboy playmate Jillian Grace. While the actor is known for playing goofy, irresponsible characters, in real life he's fully devoted to being a supportive parent. Spade's regularly seen taking Harper on outings to the beach and spends as many holidays as he can with her. Although Spade and Grace were not a couple at the time of Harper's birth, sources claim that the pregnancy was entirely intentional. According to the source, who chose to remain anonymous, quote, "It was a mutual discussion. He told her that he was getting older. It was something he was thinking about. If Spade was hoping to continue his bloodline with future generations, it makes sense why he was discerning about choosing the mother of his child." And the final fact of today's article, it took a pair of tragedies for Spade to bond with SNL co-star Jon Lovitz. Though Jon Lovitz starred on SNL alongside Spade, the two weren't particularly close until they both experienced the loss of their friends. Lovitz considered fellow SNL alum Phil Hartman one of his best friends up until the comedian was murdered in 1998. Chris Farley, Spade's dear friend, had just passed from a drug overdose the year prior. Recalling this sad time during a 50th anniversary panel for SNL, Lovitz said he bonded with Spade over the mutual losses. Quote, "I said to David, well, maybe we could become friends because we're both missing our other half, our best friends." David goes, "Yeah, but I think because it was hard for me, it took a while. And then one day I played golf and we were playing golf and I could just tell one day, don't know what happened. I just knew in his mind that was okay." Alright, there you have it. Another successful Brian Reads the News segment. This one again coming to us from ranker.com. David Spade's life has been even stranger than you'd think by Don Saylor. If you want to check it out, you can go up there and check it out in more detail. And if you like this article, please take a second to give it a like. You can do that now. And if you really enjoy this content, consider subscribing to the channel.